Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today you are joining me for a flip through of my catch-all Frankenplanner here. I'll be doing a flip through of my full setup, but I'm going to try to make it shorter than normal this time. I'm dealing with some sickness issues, some allergy issues, so I feel like I'm out of breath all the time, so I won't have as much stamina as I normally do for these live videos. So since that's going to be the case, what I'd like you guys to do is to put your information there in the chat and any questions you have about my setup, anything that I might have skimmed over and you want more information about. And I'll check it periodically through this video to see if there's anything that I missed or anything that I can address right away. I'm going to just take a minute. Things looking kind of weird on my screen, so I just want to make sure everything looks right. You guys are all coming in. Thank you guys again for joining me on this Sunday, and we will get started shortly. I'd love it if you guys want to leave your name and like maybe where you're tuning in from into the chat. That would be super fun if you have that ability. And if that's it, I mean, I'm thinking there's nothing else I need to say housekeeping wise. So I think that's pretty much it for right now. Hi, thank you. Happy Sunday. Glad to see a few of you coming in. Okay, yeah, I'm a little out of sorts right now because I had to do some technical issues with my computer. It's been a little bit of a challenge today, so sorry if that was really loud in your ears too. Let me know how the volume is on the mic. It's in a really weird place, so I don't know if it's too close to my mouth, and sometimes that makes things get really, really hot. So I'm going to move it down actually a little bit. Just let me know if you can't hear me. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I see you guys signing into the chat, so thank you so much. Let's go ahead and just really quickly talk about what I do with my planner here, and then we'll get into the flip through. So I take 5 different planners and put them into one. So I work out of this one chunky planner every day, and I work through it for the whole month, and then I switch out the month with the individual planners that I put in here. So like I said, 5 different planners in one. It's like my catch-all Frankenplanner. And I have it on some Happy Planner expander rings with this DIY cover I just did a setup video on my channel. So if you want to know more about how to get a budget frosted cover, DIY it, check that out. And I also have a couple of other sections in here as well to manage my life. So I'll go through those briefly as we flip through, but we're really here to see my January spreads and how those all turned out. Again, I'll keep trying to catch you guys in the chat and look over there and see if there's any questions. So please, yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. And see, trying to find dashboards to use as dividers. Lori, yeah, there's a couple of different options you can do for that. I found a really good set, which I'll talk about in mine, that I just bought for top tabs and for side tabs. So we can, I'll touch on that a little bit while we go. Okay. Let me know again if this is too loud. Like I said, it's really hard for me to judge because I don't have a way to hear myself. Okay, so like I said, I got this frosted cover, and so what I did this year is I made my own cover, which I haven't fully committed to yet. I'll be honest, I think I'm probably going to try to switch them out for the seasons just to bring some different life in here. But I made this one, and it came out pretty good, I think, but I don't know. I feel like I could also do better, so I keep going back and forth on it. So that's the cover dashboard, if you will. Then I have this pocket. It's like a pencil pouch style pocket that I got at Joann's a very long time ago. I don't think they sell them anymore, but you can find them on Amazon. So if you want one of these for your planner, I do have a link, I think maybe in this description. If not, I'll let me know and I'll add it to the description so you guys can check it out. I also have this very old sticky dash, which I think I'm going to be updating soon. And it's just a little DIY project with some acetate, a cardboard or cardstock backer, and then some photo corners, and then just some random stickies I had in my stash. Let me quickly jump again. Let's see. Okay. I also have this pocket folder here with a pen loop from the Happy Planner. Both of these are actually from the Happy Planner. And it's just got like a little sticky back so you can move it around. I've used this in multiple planners, so it's been around town and it still sticks. I also have my trusty Friction 0.5 clicker pen in black. This is what I use to primarily write in my planner, and then I also have the erasable feature of that, which is why I use it. I make a lot of mistakes, so it really makes it easy to erase and redo your writing, or make it look a lot better. People always ask me about the heat issue because the friction ink, the erasable ink, is heat sensitive. So if you lay it like directly in the sun, it can dissolve the ink and make it disappear. I've never had an issue. I live in Southern California. I used to put my planner and leave it in my hot car when I was going to the gym. So I don't think it's necessarily heat. I think like the direct sunlight would be enough, or like microwaving it. I think that's what the whole Rocketbook situation's about. So anyway, so I've never really had a problem with the friction pens, which is why I continue to use them. And they're still good for all of my archive planners. So the ink really doesn't disappear unless there's some extreme heat, I think, placed directly on the page. Let's see. Not the clear ones. Okay, so there was a question again about the dividers, the clear dividers. Oh, I see. So you want some backers for your dividers. So you're looking for dashboards for behind clear dividers. Yeah, I made these, so I'll talk about my setup right now. So I got these 6, there's 4 here, and then there's 2 more in the back, 6 tabs of clear dividers on Amazon for this year's setup, and they're really lightweight, which is kind of nice. They don't bulk up the planner, but yes, they're clear, so a lot of times you'll want something behind it just to make it look like a nice clean look. And so I made these for myself this year. Pretty simple. I just like the watercolor look. Some people have said that they were interested in it, so I may do a an upload on my Etsy shop. I can talk. I have words. And may put these up in the future. I need to figure out a few things though, as far as I know a lot of people would like to be able to edit this, and I've never been able to do it with my old system to do editable PDFs. And so I need to kind of do some research, make sure that what I'm giving you is functional for you. But yeah, so that's a possibility. But yes, it is kind of hard to figure it out. But I do have a video coming up that is going to be kind of fun about dashboards. So stay tuned, and maybe that'll give you some ideas too for what you could do behind your clear dividers. All right, so we're in my first section. Let's just quickly get to that. Like I said, I have 6 sections. So the first ones are up here in the front, and the first one in particular is my task section. Sorry if you're picking up that siren outside. And I meant to change one or the other. This should either be probably inbox or this should be tasks, but I've just left it. So I have my little cardstock dashboard that I printed for this section. And then inside I have my inbox, which is from the GTD method. And I sell this printable in my shop. So if you're interested, there is a possibility that you can get this for A5, half letter, and HP, mini, classic, and big. So that's what I'm carrying now, actually sized for those planners to maximize the space. I swear, all the police are coming down the street right now. And anyway, so I reprinted it for 2023 and set it up with my inbox actions to work through, and I've been doing pretty good. I use this inbox mainly for long-term stuff, so like things that don't need to be addressed within the next like week or two, I put it on here, and then I can come back and check this weekly and just see if there's anything I'm ready to tackle. So there is that, and if you want to know more about this whole method, I did do a full video on how to use it on my channel. Just look for the inbox, GTD inbox, and you should find it. Okay, so next we're into my goal section, and that's my next tab in the set. And again, I have a dashboard to go with that. So I did a setup video on this. This is my word of the year, joy. So I did this insert, the back page, which is my vision of all the goals that I would love to tackle, categorized on the back. Then I also have my quarterly goals here broken down for this first quarter, and then I set up the rest of the pages ready to go for the next 2 or 3 quarters. So that I'll touch on too in a little bit. Let me quickly see, what is your shop? Is it on Etsy? Yes. Excuse me. My shop is called Squaird Plans, same name, on Etsy. I say Etsy all the time, I'm sorry. It's Etsy, but I constantly refer to it as Etsy, and that's what I mean. And so, yeah, it's on Etsy, and I have a ton of different printables in there. Most of the items you're going to see in the main sections here are from my shop, so I'll talk about those too as we go through. Okay, so that is that section. Then we have my productivity section, which is new to my planner this year, my 3rd tab. And here I have the Kanban board, which I constantly say Kanban board too, which apparently I was corrected on. I'm really sorry. I never hear people say words. I just read the word, and so sometimes I start saying it before I've heard it pronounced. Yeah, okay. Again, struggling today, you guys. So anyway, yeah, Kanban board is apparently the proper way to say it. So I made this. This is for tackling my big goal for the quarter, which is my portfolio site. And like I said, I have a video on that and the whole setup. I also have my cleaning schedule in here now, which is working out good. Again, something I kind of just check weekly, and it's a nice place to know where to check things. I also have a video on this setup as well. Okay, you guys, so now we are into my schedule section, which is the main reason why you guys are here. This is where I keep those 5 planners I mentioned earlier, and at the front I have a future log set up. I also did a video talking about this whole process and setting it up for the year and how to manage it using some color coding. Really cool way, I think, to future plan. It's been very useful, I found, and very functional. So I did it again this year, just with a little bit of a different take with the ink instead of the washi dots. So the very first section, we're there. Finally, woot woot. My first section that we're going to go through today is my faith planner. So my faith planner last year was a bullet journal, and I did it again in a classic happy planner, but it was just a dot grid page, and I drew out all of my spreads. It was a little bit much. I thought it was really fun to play around with, but it just was a little more time consuming than I wanted it to be. So I went back to what I did in 2021, which was my quadrant layout style with a little added twist here. So for the monthly, this is how I themed it out. I do the full month of January in my faith planner all at once, so all of the pages are themed in the same theme. And for the monthly, what I did is I decided to kind of combine some things from last year and put them all together on the monthly. So first thing was tracking what I was reading in my daily reading. I do have an app called YouVersion Bible app, and I go through the Bible each year in that app. So it's just like I follow a yearly plan, and I just do the readings every day. So that's the first thing I have here, and I use those little dots on this page to kind of denote where I was going to put them. Really like how that turned out. Then I also decided to do what I did last year, which was a snippet of what I read, so like an application of the daily reading. So I call that the takeaway. And so, you know, I'll read different verses and passages throughout the Bible, and then I'll just try to grab that little, you know, thing that called out to me in that reading that I can apply to my life for the day, or something to, you know, dwell on from that reading. So that is how I used the monthly, and I think it turned out great. I really like this little takeaway snippet. It's so much more practical for me than to do a full summary. And it just gives me a little something to think about in the morning, and I pray on it, and I kind of keep it in the back of my mind. So it's a really good way, I thought, to kind of make that reading more applicable to my life. So that's the first monthly of the year, and I think I'm going to continue this throughout the year unless, you know, something happens. So that's probably how I'll be using the monthlies for all of 2023. So this is a new feature that I've added to my faith planner, and this is now available in my shop if you were interested. this is what I call a faith overview spread. So I have these in like 3 or 4 of my planners that we're going to talk about. I did this because I wanted all of my tabs to lay properly and to flow through each morning. So in each section of my planners, I have a monthly tab, which is on the first tab, and then the next tab is my overview tab, which I have here, and then it goes into the week, and then if there's another section at the very back, I have an outside tab for that. And I needed that for the flow and the consistency. It's just me. I go through my tabs in the morning and that's all I do. I don't flip around my book very much each day. So I really just go tab, tab, tab and hit all my points for the day. And that's just the way it works for me. So I decided to add these overviews because I had one planner that included like an overview page already from the Happy Planner, and it was just going to mess up my whole system if I didn't do something like this. So I really actually am happy I did. I found a really cool way to kind of track some things I wanted to track, and it's just worked out really well. So on this page, I have some habit trackers, which I track my daily prayer and reading, the summary or the takeaway basically, did I write that in, and then my lettering, which we're going to talk about in the weeklies. So it was a pretty good month, and then I also keep my prayer list here so that it's, easy access. I can, do everything together and not forget anything on my prayer list. And then I also added in this almost like a currently style section where I had some prompts that I grabbed from a really old Happy Planner, Faith Planner that I loved from way back when, and included them here. And I really like it. Whenever I'm feeling the mood to tackle one of these questions, I write them in as the month progresses, and then usually by the end of the month they're all filled in. So really cool. And again, this is available in my shop, just pretty much like how it is laid out as far as dot grid, the currently little section here, prayer list header, and habit trackers. So you can kind of customize it for your faith planner. Okay, so that is the next spread. And then, like I said, on my third tab, I would have my weekly. And I use the Quadrant layout from my shop for my weeklies. It's just the perfect layout, I find, for lettering a verse of the day. It's just like the right amount of room. The vertical format, gives you a lot of breathing room, but it's not too tight. It's just a really good format for this. So I decided to do that again this year. Something I want to talk about before I forget is I used the hammer mill paper I had bought last year, at the end of last year, to try out for the first month. And I hated it. I really hated it, you guys. It bled through. I don't know how much you can see on camera, but like I could see through. It's going to get a lot worse. I actually decided to alternate the colors each week so that it wouldn't be as bad, but this dark green is really bleedy, so you're going to see it a lot more as it goes through. So that was really disappointing with this paper. It really just was not the same quality that I was used to with the HP Premium 32 paper. So I went ahead and bought another ream of it because that was the whole reason I bought the hammer mills, because I was going low and wanted to try it, since it was supposed to be the same weight and style of paper, but it really wasn't. So the next month should be fine. I haven't had any bleed through on the next month, so I'm very happy that I went back to that HP paper. So anyway, that is how the first week turned out. I have had some requests for a lettering video, so if you're interested in just me talking through my process and maybe giving you guys some tips and tricks if you want to do this on your own, let me know in the chat if that's something that you are interested in, and I will see what I can do in the near future. Yeah, so this was the first page. On the second week, as you can see, so I started out with that darker green, and then I saw all the bleeding, so I went to a lighter blue, kind of picking up on the light blue in the trees, and did that for the full spread, so the front to back wouldn't be so strong, if that makes sense. I've actually went through and used my white pen to highlight some of the darker spots so it wouldn't be so distracting as it bled through. But overall, yeah, I alternated the dark green and the light blue just so that it wouldn't be too much heavy ink on the same page. Let's see. Yeah. this is how it turned out. Like I said, I can talk a little bit more about what I do with my lettering and everything in a separate video if you guys are interested. Oh, you guys are interested. Okay, great. I see some interest in the chat. Hold on a second. Ooh. Okay, so this was the third week, and again, went back to the green to do that alternating, and this one I think turned out, I was really pretty happy with most of my lettering for the month. I didn't really have anything that I was super unhappy with, so that was good, and I try to take my time in the morning to get that done. And then finally, we have the fourth week, and again, back to the lighter blue. I really do try to interpret the verse of the day, which I do get out of that same app, the YouVersion Bible app. It just auto loads a verse of the day, and that's the one I use for my lettering. Let's see. So yeah, I do try to interpret what I'm reading. I just kind of try to bring it to life with whatever I'm designing with the doodles, or even like the styling of the words or emphasis of the words. And it's just really been a blessing to my faith planning journey. Okay, so I have this back page, which I really did want to do something with, but I just didn't have the time to do anything with, so it's just going to be blank for now. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is still, yeah, that ghosting was just, it was just horrible. I really hated the ghosting all the way through and some of the bleed through with this paper, so I was very happy to move on to February with that. Okay, so those are how my faith planner pages came out for January, and I'm going to go ahead and move it out into its separate planner now. So this is my normal process. This is the planner, loud car. This is the planner I'm going to be storing my faith pages in. This is the same cover that you saw, but I put on some metal rings because I did a full overhaul of my archive and got some of my good quality rings back, so I put some gold rings on it. Let's see, and this is very hodgepodgey since these are mostly all my inserts, so I just grab out some leftover dividers from old planners and use those to help separate in the sections. I have not pre-printed the year like I have in years past, so it gives me a little bit of flexibility to change things up on a monthly basis by printing them month to month, and that was really great because of that whole paper issue I had. But yeah, I do kind of miss having everything ready to go too, so now every month I'm thinking about it, but I think once I get into it, maybe a month or two more, I might just finish out the year if I feel like comfortable with my setups. Let's see, so that was my faith planner. And I have February in for all of the remaining planners, so we'll just go ahead and skip ahead to the next section, which should be my health section. There we go. Okay, so my next process in my morning is to tackle my health planner. So I do my faith first, and chronologically I basically work through the tabs here in my planner. So health is next. It used to be behind my daily planner, but I feel like this makes a little bit more sense because my spiritual health is somewhat connected to my physical and mental health. So I think it all kind of works its way through in a little bit of a better flow now. So for the month of January, I did a monthly spread here. Again, this is all from my shop. This is just the basic monthly layout, lined or split month layout, but I also offer a lined version if that is something you're interested in. Okay, so let me just quickly talk about how this went. What I wanted to do with my monthly this year was to get away from tracking all of my symptoms and stuff on this page and writing my daily snippet, and doing something that was more physically focused, like workouts or some kind of routine style things, to try to get that progress going in my workout schedule. It's been, since COVID, my workouts have just been totally different, and I've really just I've slowly just gotten weaker and weaker, honestly. And my cardio is down and everything because I used to go to the gym like pretty much every day and sometimes do multiple workouts. And now I still don't feel comfortable going to a gym because I have all of these asthma and allergy issues. So working out at home just isn't the same. But I'm trying, so I wanted to put it here on a full spread so that I could see it all and like kind of hopefully get inspired to see, you know, if I was hitting lots of workout days or, you know what I mean, just that seemed to work for me when I did a single page last year, if you saw any of that setup, and I wanted to try it here on my monthly. This wasn't as inspiring as I wanted it to be, honestly. I thought it would be more, but it really wasn't. Some things I did like was that I did have a space to map out my strength training schedule. So I did put that here into the sidebar. However, I just did not feel up to it for most of the month to do it. I tried it a couple of days and then it just really fell off. So yeah, some other health issues are going on with me as well as far as physically. So it just did not motivate me as much as I wanted it to. But what did happen is that I made a more concerted effort to do cardio no matter how I was feeling, since it didn't really quite tax my body in the same way as lifting. And that did somewhat work. I think that did help. I did get more workouts in January, and that was good. So I feel like there is a uphill progress. So anyway, that's what this was about. I was using some color coding to try to like color code what days I was going to do what. But again, since I didn't really fully follow this, it didn't quite work out for January. Also, the stickers and things, I really just throw down some random stickers that I have in my stash. So these were from the Dollar Tree, I think, this forward and then maybe some Happy Planner washi stickers from an old book. That was pretty much it. So my next spread is now my health overview spread, which again is also in my shop now, if you're interested. And here, covered in black, is where I put my weight and measurements. I was smart to think ahead this time and not have to do some weird flippy thing to figure out how to cover them. So yeah, so I've got those behind there. And I also have my monthly stats, which I ended up tracking. Some were down, actually most were down, but I felt like I did more workouts. So it's kind of funny that it was down. I guess I got more exercise than I thought I did in January or in December. But those are my stats, and I get that just off of my Apple Watch. I have an app on my phone that gives me the information. I put in some health goals here on the side, some to-dos. I got my habits that I'm tracking on the left here, and then there's an empty space down at the bottom. And what I decided to do was to do like a health review every month. And I used some questions that I think I had on a really old Happy Planner fitness layout from way back when. And I just grabbed some of those questions and put those in to try to, you know, evaluate how things are going and kind of do a self-analysis on what I could be doing better and what wasn't working. So that's how that turned out. Here's my first week of January, and this year I am using a lined vertical for my health spreads for my weeklies. This is new for me, so I'm learning how to work the layout a bit. I include 3 major things on each day. I have my workout, I have what I was eating, and usually like a calorie total at the bottom, and then my stats for the day, so my daily stats. So I need to fit that in on each day plus the decor. So it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit new for me, so I'm trying different things and placement. But this one was really fun. I loved the colors of it, and it was a good way to start the year and some bright, fun, motivating health spread. So here is my next one, and this one was for a Plannable Challenge. Plannable Challenge is a set of monthly themes that me and Catherine over in Planogram on Instagram come up with each month for you guys to kind of have some fun with your stickers and decor and help you create some themes for your planner. So this one was Holiday Hangover, and I don't drink because I'm actually allergic to alcohol. So I used to be able to drink it, but I can't anymore. And so I have all these alcohol stickers that I never use. So I thought it'd be kind of fun just to do like a little hangover holiday style spread. Let's see. I have some color here. I did like a pink, red, yellow theme. Like I kind of stuck with those warmer, brighter tones, and I think that really worked. Went a little bit crazy with the confetti. I probably could have dialed it down just a little bit, but it was still pretty fun up there. And I don't think I did a plan with me on this. There's going to be a lot less plan with me's because they're just not as popular. So if you guys are interested in stickers or specific details of any of these spreads, you'll probably have to hit me up in the comments and let me know, oh, this spread from January 9th in your health, I want to know X or Y, just because I'm not doing as many plan with me videos this year, just an FYI. Okay, so we've got that. This is the next week. This one was a fun one. This one was not a themed spread. It was just one that I came up with, and I used some layered washi here, which I really like that effect, that gradient effect, and some diagonal washi that I got the idea from, I think it's Pretty Plans. I'll have to look again. I definitely reference her when I posted this on Instagram. So yeah, this one was really fun. I just liked the bold colors, and then like the kind of like stark black quotes just really worked well, I thought, together in the spread. And then this was the last week of January. This one was a woodland winter theme, which was fun. I had some Planny Things stickers here to pull in. I wasn't really quite sure, again, this new layout, like how to make things work. So I put in these circles on top of the washi, and this was really popular. You guys were really excited about this. So I'm happy that this gave you guys some fresh ideas for how to maybe use your own circle stickers. But yeah, so this one turned out pretty cute. It's got a little wintry woodland theme going here. And on the back, I have my meds and supplements tracker. Let's see if I can get this so you guys can see. I'm doing something a little bit different this year, and let me know if this is off screen because I can't see right now. I am cutting back on all of the random supplements that I take, so I'm just dialing it down to some basic vitamins and my normal meds that help treat my allergies and asthma for the most part. So I track that on this tracker, which is actually just a modification of the habit tracker you can find in my shop. I just replaced out the word habit tracker here with meds and supplements, and then the word habits here with meds and supplements here. I should have changed it a little bit more, just because down here I'm keeping a different section this time, which is more about my symptoms each day. This is my way of kind of removing it from the monthly and putting it down here in a tracker style, so I can see which days I had a lot going on and which days I didn't have as much, issues, and then try to work out maybe what was going on that day to cause differences. And that's worked out pretty well. I feel like I need more space though, to be honest, so I might have to alter this in the future and give myself more room, so I make this maybe even larger so I have more more symptoms to put there. Oh, that's sad. But yeah, I have a lot of random things that happen to me on the daily, so I need to track them and just kind of try to troubleshoot and figure out why I am experiencing those issues. Okay, so that's really my health planner in a nutshell there. And I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing, moving it over into its own planner. Grab out just the pages for January. And I totally replaced the cover and the discs for this planner. Again, I did a little archive shuffle, so I freed up a cover I liked better and some rings. So this is going to be my health planner for 2023 now. Oh, too many dividers. And these are just some homemade dividers that I made a while back, some cardstock. And we're done. Okay, so that is my health. We go all the way to my health meds section. And this is new. I haven't really talked about this yet, but I was missing a place for just my daily weigh-in. I do have my starting weight up on my health overview, but I didn't have a place for my daily weigh-in, which is what I started last year. And I was kind of missing it. So I ended up adding another perpetual calendar here and using that, tracking it at that same time as I track my meds and supplements, my daily weight, and then I also started putting in my steps as well. So I have that magnet clipped together so there's no sneaking of my weight there, and we move into the next section, which is my daily. Okay, so here is my January daily monthly, and again, these are all inserts from my shop. I have my winter fun bucket list here in the center, and I did do quite a few of the things on the list this year. I've kind of abandoned it though. There's maybe one or two more things I think I could fit in before the end of February, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to leave it here though in the January, and then if I do something with it, I'll move it into, I'll write it in its own separate planner when it's there. So yeah, I have my winter bucket list. I also have my monthly spread, which this year I am using as a like events, appointments, things happening in my life that I need to keep track of style spread, which in the past I really haven't been that successful at using it for that, but I think it's sort of working. It does feel sometimes like it's a waste of space, even though, you know, there's only a few things that I have to keep track of, and honestly, I could just reference my future log if I really wanted to do it. So I don't know how much longer I'll keep doing this. We'll see. If I get busier, maybe I will find more use for it. But this is how it turned out. I have my holidays and things in there, as well as like some highlights and things that were going on that I needed to remember. I also have in the sidebar TV that I was watching and movies, also the books that I read for the month. So I kind of like that little area of like almost memory keeping, and the theme is really fun and kind of, I don't know, bright and crazy for a January theme, but I liked it a lot. And now I'm out of breath. Sorry, guys. Like, breathe. So next we have my daily overview. This one is currently not in my shop, but I've gotten a couple of requests for it. So what I'm thinking of doing is adding it with a little bit of a stripped down version, kind of like how it is here, but just like an undated month, some lines, like a lined area here, habits, and may or may not keep the 3 boxes at the top. So if you're interested in that, you know, with all the social media kind of stuff stripped out, let me know, and I'll probably, like I said, add that to my shop. I've gotten enough requests where I think people might find that useful. So what I've been using this one for is kind of a split between my social media stuff and kind of more my daily things to remember, monthly task list type of things. So I added some goals here, which really didn't help me at all because I have a whole section of goals set up farther down in the planner, which we'll discuss in a minute. But I didn't know what to do with those 3 boxes, so that's how I set it up. This was very helpful though, having a running monthly task list of things that I want to make sure I kind of think about and tackle at some point in the month. Since I do look at this page every day with the habits, it was just a nice place to have it because I would constantly reference this page each day and remember, oh yeah, I needed to use that Michael's reward by a certain date or yada yada yada. I also have a few habits that I used to track on a separate habit tracker, and I just went ahead and moved them into here. That's been working out pretty good, as well as just some like social media type like admin stuff that I do here. Let's see, and then over here is where I'm going to be tracking my social stats. So I just ended up color coding it this month to match kind of the red and the blue, or the orange and the blue colors, and just write down the daily stats on my shop. I also do a little summary here of the previous month and this month, you know, how they go, and then set goals for the upcoming month. So that's how I was using this little section down below. and that works out pretty well. I did that in the past, and I just like to have that information. Oh, also too, it's also themed to match the monthly, which again, I think this is something I'm going to continue to do, theming out the overview pages with the monthly, and then if there's a back page as well. So here is my first spread of the year in my horizontal, and I really liked how this turned out. I don't think there was a plan with me on it, but it really turned out pretty nice. I love the colors. It was just really refreshing after all of the holiday spreads that have something, you know, bright and fun, even though it is the middle of winter still. I just really liked how this turned out. And I believe that the theme, the Plannable Challenge, was Bright New Year. So I did submit this as a bright theme for the Plannable Challenge. I have my checklist pretty much every day. I used to do a focus every day. It now just kind of depends because I have a whole new section in here as well. So I do keep my task list here though, and that really comes into play when I'm scheduling out my day, what I need to get done. So this works in conjunction with my hourly planner, which I'll be showing you here in a second. And yeah, so that's how that one turned out. This one here was, I think it was a Plannable Challenge theme. Let me see. No, actually it wasn't, but it felt like one. This one I did kind of like an overview of like greens, and I just really liked this one a lot actually. It took me a little while to come up with. I don't think there was a plan with me on it, but I really like how it turned out. And yeah, same type of thing. Checklists. Sometimes there's focus areas, but that's a little bit, yeah, not as needed this year now that I have my new setup. And here is my, was this Winter Blues? Yeah, Winter Blues. My Winter Blues thread. My Winter Blues spread for the Plannable Challenge. Really loved how this turned out. Just, I don't know, I was feeling crafty and creative, and it just all came together really nicely. Used some blue florals from the Planny thing and some blending inks in the background, really give you that kind of misty blue look. Some quotes from the Happy Planner, and even some stamping. So really cool. Really, really liked this one actually a lot. It was fun to be in. And then another kind of one-tone theme, and this one I think I just did on my own. I wanted to use up I wanted to use up some of this paper that I've had in my stash for a while. Really like it, and I had some scraps. So I started with that and then just kind of built off of that color scheme. So it'd have a little bit of winter, but I also brought in some like green leafy branches that are some of my favorites as well. Try to make it all work together. So in the end, this really came together nicely, though I think this one was another little bit of a struggle to put together. And then on the back page, I have here, this was not shown in my previous setup. I used to have just a lined version of the month of the day, which I thought was going to be okay. Let me see if I can find it. I think I kept it. Where would you be? Oh yeah, here. So this is how it started out when I first set up the planner. And I did the first few weeks, but I just felt like it had no pizzazz, and I don't know, it was hard to read. Just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't speak to me. So even if I had decorated, I didn't feel like it was going to do much to make me want to be in this more. So what I decided to do is to do like a small monthly layout and use that instead, just so that I can kind of see, you know, the individual days of the week at a glance and know where I was at. And that really helped, even though there's not very much writing space. That's good for me because I tend to get a little wordy. I had a lot less going on up here, and then by the end of the month I'm doing like 6 lines of text. So it just it's better that I have less space to work in than more. And I just put in a little memory of the day. I really just like this little aspect of my planner. It feels, I don't know, when I go back through and look at my old planners, it's just fun to see what I was doing at a certain time because all the days blend together. So I really wanted to keep this in my planner, but I wanted to use my monthly in a different way this year. That was when I was talking about this. So this may end up going back to this at some point in the year if I just don't find that this is working for me. But for now, I did it on the back page here for January, and I like this a lot better. I also put some highlights for the month so I wouldn't have to read through each thing. I could just kind of at a glance know what was going on. I really like that as well. I did something like that in my health monthly last year, just kind of an overview of what was going on with me health-wise, and then I could get into the minutia of it if I wanted to read the summary each day. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice. So that's just a nice little snippet to kind of remind me of what was going on in that month. All right, so that is it for my overview for, I call this my daily planner. I know that might be confusing to some people, but this is my daily planner, even though it's a weekly horizontal layout. Some people would call that your catch-all. So yeah, I just never called it that. It's always been my daily, so that's how I refer to it. Again, new rings and a cover on this one, but the same dividers. And this is where I will keep all of my daily spreads for 2023. All right, so February's in. We've got one more to go. Yeah. Let me get this all set up. And the last one we're going to talk about is my brand new hourly scheduling planner, also / goals planner. This is a happy planner, so it has the happy planner, what do you call these, dividers in there with the tabs. It's a little bit of a nuisance to me now to have these tabs since I work off of my top tabs, and so these ones are just kind of like hanging out there, messing up my groove thing on the side, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep it in, and it's just 1 month usually at a time, so I'll work through my type A personality and just let it be, because I really don't have a choice if I want to use the monthly. So the way that I'm using this, it is, like I said, it's an hourly vertical planner. I think the name of the planner is called Achieve Greatness, and I'm using the monthly for my social media kind of scheduling. So I did a whole bunch of different things on this one. So there's a lot of erasing, and there was a lot of changes that I made over the month. I tried using washi dots to like highlight the different styles of posts and videos. That just got so cluttery and I couldn't stand it. So I ended up pulling them all off and rewriting things. So I think just simple is better for me on my social. I may add a little bit of decor if I'm really feeling up for it, but for the most part, it's a very functional planner. And I add in my videos that I plan to post here, and I'll usually highlight them somehow and differentiate them from my Instagram posts. I usually put in whatever the plannable challenge is for the month and use a little bit of color coding, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward, just posts and videos that I plan to do for the month. And here is how the overview pages turned out for this hourly planner. So this was, again, the inspiration for the other ones I ended up creating for my other planners. This overview was the whole reason that I bought the planner, is because I wanted to be into my goals more on a weekly basis, so or daily basis even. So I really wanted to have a place to kind of reference my goals each month, also to break them down into tasks that I could tackle for each week and, really just work them into my schedule. So that's how I'm using this. I do talk about that in my recent setup video a bit more, and I'll probably get more into the kind of tasks to scheduling section of that goals process in a future video. But for now, this is just how it turned out. Very clean, not a lot of color or anything, just a few stickers on this one. I did add a little bit more color in February to see if that kind of helped bring a little bit of spark to my goal setting. But for the most part, very functional. And then I have my first week in my scheduling hourly schedule here. And so I'm using the top for my social media tasks. So I basically transfer whatever is on this page in for the month and kind of break it down into the smaller tasks I need to do with each of those individual posts or video uploads. And then I have this section here, which is just like the highlight section of, what am I going to focus in on for the day, goals wise, and then was my health focus for the day. And that worked out really good because it just kind of takes away some of the overabundance of things, so I can easily just see at a glance what I'm working on, and then I can get down to the hour by hour scheduling aspect. I did do a few kind of small charts to help me track my production schedules on some things over here. This was kind of messy. I didn't really like how this turned out, so I didn't do it for the most part of the month. But I did do it in the beginning because I was getting kind of confused because I had a lot of pre-scheduled stuff already filmed but like not completed, and I needed to keep track of what I had done and what I hadn't. Let's flip to the next one. We'll talk about the scheduling a little bit. So what I do here in the scheduling section, pretty straightforward. I use just like a plain black pen and write in my schedule. I add in like my rest type stuff in the green. I use my 4-color pen for this, which is here at the back of my planner. And then that kind of gives me a nice bright break between work moments and, downtime. And then I also have in red usually my workouts. I will go back and erase and change and update these on the daily. So if things do not go to plan, I write in what did happen and when, so that I can use that in the future to plan more effectively and know how long things took me and that kind of thing. So I do update this, which is great with this friction pen because I can just erase and set it up for what actually happened. But I do pre-plan the week first, and then each day I will kind of go back through and make adjustments as I need to. So I have here the next week. Again, these ones aren't decorated. This is very functional planning for me, but very useful. And I work in all of my goals and when I want to do them all on this spread. And I also will kind of go down to like the tasks and things. That's when I'll go back and reference my daily week and see what tasks need to be done under these main categories. So again, yeah, things that I kind of like were highlights or focuses that I needed to accomplish were in red, and then the green were more like downtime elements. And this was how the last week turned out. So I'm still kind of working out the best way things should be laid out in here for me as far as color coding and how I'm going to track my social, that kind of thing. But for the most part, it's been pretty helpful on planning my day. And then at the back, I am using the Currently page to do my goals review for the month. So this is what I did for January. I did a little bit of sticker setup here just for some color and went through like my goals for my wins, what's working, what's not working, and then adjustments for the upcoming month, as well as kept track of anything that was coming up in the month that I needed to remember so that I would have a little, area to transfer things over into the next month. So that is it for my goals planner, an hourly scheduled planner. And that goes into here. Oh, I just realized I didn't put my winter bucket list away. I need to put that away. So this is the actual planner from the Happy Planner, the Achieve Greatness Planner. And it's an 18-month, so the first few months went unused. I got this right at the end of 2022. Yeah, that's what it was. And I actually used it in December in a little bit of a different way, tried some different things, and that was really great just to see how I could use it in, like I said, different ways, try some things and figure out what worked best. So February is already in there. Pretty much now towards the end. I'll skip ahead. I have one more planner in the back. And let me get there. Which we don't go through, but this one is my basically my finance planner, my budget, work, money planner. So I have a bunch of different pages in here that I got this printable from. Noted Co. is the name of the shop. I can't even think anymore. Yeah, is the name of the shop, and I have all the details in my Plan With Me setup video, or planner setup video for 2023, if you are interested in more about how this is set up. I did create a monthly overview page based off of those inserts. I just kind of finagled them to make it look like the planner, but set up a whole page for planning like a single month, very similar to like my daily memory. So it's just like a single month on the back with a space so that I could track my bills in a monthly format. That was the only page I really felt was missing from that planner printable. So I went ahead and added that in. And I think, yeah, we're just going to skip to the back. So all of those pages are in there. I have some annual pages that I use, and then I have monthly pages that I pull in and out. And then the last two sections here are my reference section. So we're out of the flip through for January, and we're into just more of my back end setup here. So I have a tab with my reference section, and in here I have 4 sections at the bottom. They are originally top tabs that I flipped and put them on the bottom, which has actually been really great because they don't get confused with my top tab sections, and I can easily just flip to these long-term storage areas in the back. So I changed out the dashboards because I really just was not jiving with the dashboards that I had selected early in the year, and I'll probably change them again. We'll see. I just wanted something different, and I found some free images that I thought might work and went ahead and printed those out on cardstock. So that is how the first one is for my personal section. So that's kind of like anything about home or personal. I have some recipe pages in here, things like that. I also have my business section, which I have this kind of moody, foresty theme. Again, I like the pictures themselves. I just don't know if they're cohesive to my overall planner scheme, so I may be changing those out. And in here in my business, I have, business ideas, things that are related to my freelance business as well as my Etsy shop. Then I have my social media, which has this, again, kind of like a moody mountainscape. And that, of course, is just like social media stuff. And I can show you that. So that's just where I keep like all my video ideas, things that I want to be working on for social. And then the last section here is my education section, which is housing like my notes from recent classes I've taken online, and just, things that I think I might need to reference as far as teaching me something about something. And so that's where I put those. And the very last tab is my notes tab. So here I just keep some blank note paper and different styles. I also have one more pocket folder in the back, mainly because I wanted to keep my pen loop off of my cover. So I just put it on this pocket folder. It's a little bit messy here, but I really don't use this pocket folder that much. So it's really more of like a pen holder with a pocket folder added for benefit. And my back page dash and my cover. Yay, hooray. We are all through. I thought this was going to be a lot less chunky, but it's still pretty chunky. Something is off there. I think the folder came off a little bit. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. I need to stick this down again. Anyway, long story short, we're done. Woo, that was a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, if you have any questions I didn't get to, go ahead and leave those in the chat. Also, you could put them in the comments of the video down below as well, because the chat does disappear. So if it's something you really want addressed, do put it in the comments so that I can go back and reference it and give you guys links or whatever you're looking for. But yeah, so It's going pretty good, you guys. I'm excited about this 2023 setup. I have a lot of ideas for, just customizations, DIYs. I'll be bringing to you guys here in the next few weeks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, to go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, or if you just want to, tell me what you thought of the video, or if you have any suggestions for future videos. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.